Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Aligned Plans. We are back with another plan with me. This time we're diving into my Hobonichi weeks and we're going to be setting up both the month of June as well as the first actual week of June. So if you're brand new in this channel, thank you so much for hanging out with me and sharing your time and your space. I'm so glad that you're here and we get to hang out. My name is Meshi, if we've never met, and I chat with you on this channel on both Tuesdays and on Saturdays, so twice a week, and we dive into anything and everything minimalist planning. So sometimes we do a plan with me like this one, other times we unbox things or I give you guys all of the minimalist planning tips that I have learned along the way. So if that sounds good and you love minimalist planner everything, then you should probably hang out with me more and you should probably subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, that way you get notified every time I release a new video. And without further ado, why don't we just dive right in. Everything that I'm going to be using today, I will do my absolute best to leave links for it in the description. I almost said show notes. What's happening there? But I will tell you this, what I have in front of me is actually the sterling ink. I believe this was the May kit because the June one has just shipped. It's either the June or the July one, or maybe this is the June kit. I can't remember for the life of me. Anyways, I wanted to really use this here because it's super pretty, and finally I made the correction to actually get the translucent one, or I'm keep calling it translucent, it's transparent one. I also have lots of minimalist icons, which I'm going to really embrace today. And anything and everything supplies-wise that I'm using, I will just leave notes of it in the description in case you're wondering what color Tombow pens I'm using, dot markers, what color the pens are, and whatever are, and the thickness. So I will just leave all the details below in case you wanted to kind of check them out. Okay, why don't I just put some music on and then we can kind of get started. So getting started first with the monthly layout, I'm telling you this ahead of time, this will be extremely short-lived because I don't know, for some reason I struggle with the monthly layout here in the weeks. But anyway, we have this long washi and I'm adding a few little decor pieces, just pretty much anywhere where the days aren't too relevant. One in the corner, and then we're going to kind of decorate that bottom section so we can kind of write down at least some basic focus items. I am using a brush pen, which it's been a minute. I really love using my brush pens. So we're just placing down now focus of the month and right away hopping onto the week's layout, just because I knew that I wanted to add some events into the monthly before I continue on decorating it. Now at the top section, which I will actually explain a little bit later on in the video as well, at the top section I'm setting up agenda, the weather, mood, and that's pretty much it. Now on the sidelines, I'm setting up a few different categories. So we've got priorities. I'm just kind of looking back on one of the weeks that worked really awesome. I'm also going to be tracking the exercise for each day. And I used to have this idea where I needed either a section for reminders and a reflection and a section for reflection or next week. For this week, I'm actually going to be using next week just so that I can write down some few key points that are going to be relevant for next week. Now I tried to use this clean color dot marker. I'm trying to use the orange one, and as you can tell, it's really, really faint. I will be going back over that with something else in a moment, but for now I'm just placing down a large tear jot. This is actually from Kolourcafe. Let's see what else we're using. A few icons that I have from Hey Planner Girl. I removed like most of like the outline from each of my stickers, as you can tell, and it just makes it a little bit more user-friendly. If you ever wanted to see how to do that, just let me know, it's super easy. Just marking down some appointments. And I'm actually using these icons for exercise, also from Kolourcafe. I actually prefer the fact that her icons are a little bit easier to see and a little bit larger. It kind of stands out a little bit more in my opinion, and it just makes it a little bit more apparent on your page. Moving on, I'm also marking down any deliveries that are kind of coming through. I quickly changed my mind and I wanted to add something in the back of it so that it does stand out just a little bit more. And there you have it. Moving on. Another little decor piece that is coming from the papery planning collaboration. I believe that this is with XO Chelsea. It's wonderful. It took a minute to be able to take it off. We have arrived at that pivotal moment when I tried to use that marker, and I'm quickly realizing just how faint it is and how faintly it's actually showing up on the page. So I'm going to go back in and make some adjustments in a moment, but for now we're just going to leave it. And we're diving into yellow, and honestly this is like the brightest and happiest yellow that I have used honestly in a really long time. And I figured what better way to welcome summer than to use a bright yellow. And in case you're wondering about the number, it's 062 from Tombow. I'm going to wait a little bit until all of my brush pen is actually dry before I go over it. I did go over it after it was dried and it looks wonderful. Okay, here we are with the fawn, and look how much stronger that comes through with the dots. It just makes everything pop, in my opinion. It looks absolutely awesome. I wanted to add an accenting color, so for that I'm using this light gray. And even though it might not show up as much on the page, but here in the bottom you can actually see it a little bit better. I think it looks awesome. Now we're going over the yellow, and look how cool it looks. I definitely appreciate the fact of how much everything pops. And of course, staying with the yellow theme, I'm going to be using these almost translucent yellow dots that I have from Bon Appetit. I really appreciate how all of these colors are playing really nicely together. Okay, now as far as decor is concerned, I added a tiny little accent piece from sterling ink. I didn't want to overload it because I already had some decor pieces going on. And now I'm just adding in some icons for YouTube throughout the week. And these icons, the YouTube icons, are actually from Hey Planner Girl. And of course, I'm forgetting to use the tweezers. No worries, we're back in with the tweezer game. We have made it, you guys. So here is the finished monthly layout. Basically, the main thing that I wanted to really cover is that I added the day dots to each day. And that's that little kit that I have from Sterling Ink. The other thing that I added is I added a couple of deco, and in the bottom I just had welcome summer, barbecue, and good times ahead. And the washi that I'm using is actually the Kita, and this is it. I believe this one is called water. It's water something. I know that this is all ocean and sea life themed, so I really love this. And the other thing that I wanted to kind of highlight is I was just using like a Tombow pen. I was using a Tombow pen in the bottom to highlight things. I was using at the top a completely different one, and I'm not even going to share this because I really don't like the way it turned out, but anyway, I digress. And then I just kind of noted a few things. I feel like it became kind of busy between the deco and this. And the washi, I could have just stuck with one or the other, but lesson learned, less is more within the Hobonichi. But let's hop over to the actual week that I just finished. So here's what she looks like. I'm using this contrast between yellow and gray, and I really love the way that it kind of turned out. Again, I'll show you guys more of a close-up so that you can kind of take a look under the lights. But we have agenda, weather, mood, priorities, exercise, reminder, and next week. So the dot marker that I'm using is actually this guy, the clean color dot in Dawn. It's showing up a lot stronger than what I initially used, which is Peach Bliss. Peach Bliss was just not showing up at all for some reason. And some of the decor that I used was actually the collab with Papery Planning and EXO Chelsea. So this was one of the kits that just had a few decor pieces that I added in. Again, I didn't really want to overcomplicate it. And then I'm just kind of marking down like what's happening for next week for meditation. I am using yellow dots at the end for like any day-to-day activities. And that's it. This is all I have for you guys. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up, you can subscribe, do all of the things to support the channel, and just keep planning, you guys. And I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.